There are huge comedic elements, as usual with a Tarantino film, that are in unusual places that will make you uncomfortable by the fact that you're laughing. Well, I mean, Quentin writes such unique characters, and the the fact that when he writes a script, when you look at it, it's unlike any other movie script that you look at because it's like 6/8 dialogue, and the majority of movie scripts we see are 2/3 stage direction, action. So when you see that and you hear what's coming out of these characters' mouths, it becomes incumbent upon you to create a character or to create an individual that is so different from the other individuals in the room that you can be identified and that there are identifying characteristics of each of those characters. So you have little idiosyncrasies or you have a particular way that you walk, talk, hold something or deal with things or a personality that's bigger, smaller, whatever. But everybody needs to create something that makes them unique in this particular story, aside from Quentin's words that he puts in your mouths. And when you get your costumes on and all these other things happen, then those very special qualities tend to stand out. And because of the things we say, words elicit actions, reactions, and attitudes from other people. So that's what makes all these characters so rich and so full and so great because of what Quentin puts in our mouths that allows us to have a history that we can fill in the blanks of the history of what he's already told us about ourselves. Well, the thing that excited me most was being trapped in a room with seven other actors that I totally respected and being in what I guess a lot of people would call an ensemble chamber piece, and being in this room with those people and seeing what happens when all those people are trapped in this particular place over this period of time. That was the most exciting thing about it. He's such a cheerleader for the purity of filmmaking, and he's dug his heels in and doesn't want to go into the digital age, because there's something about the history of how stories were told and what people had to do to make a film real for people sitting there watching it, and creating an atmosphere that made you feel like you were part of it and not just witnessing something from a distance that he still wants to give to an audience, in terms of the the people talking to each other, in terms of the way their clothes look, and you can look at them and go, "Oh yeah, I know what those clothes are," or being in an atmosphere and being able to look at that atmosphere and go, "Oh, I've been in a room like that," or "I would like to be in this space with them," or "I've been in a store that was this crowded." And the use of still using, blood packs and not using CGI blood, so that people can see the wetness and the splatter of that thing coming at someone and how someone's body actually looks, and not using a huge explosion that just comes off the screen and kind of makes you think your hair, your clothes are moving. But he wants the experience to be human, so that when you're sitting there, you realize that people are entertaining you, that you're being told a story in a pure storytelling kind of way, so that when you leave, you are affected as a person. You don't just brush it off as, "Oh man, that was great, right? Oh my God, OMG." When you leave there, you're like talking to your friends about it, or you can sit and have a moment and reflect on it and go, "Oh wow, that's what that that's what that means. That's what they were talking about. That's just like what's going on, right?" So there's a subtlety and there's a a way of pulling people into something that's honest and real that old cinematic experiences have. That's why we keep going back and watching movies, like Gone with the Wind or On the Waterfront. And he wants to be part of that conversation, not the new conversation. I played Major Marcus Warren, Civil War veteran who's now a bounty hunter, who has a very special relationship with the people at Minnie's haberdashery, who has his doubts about the the other seven people who were trapped in that place with him during that storm.